So this is the first video in what I'm calling HM 101. You're not going to crawl right up in my lap, are you? So I actually took some notes because the first round I didn't have any notes and I was all over the place just chasing tangents. So I'm going to stay focused. They're over here. I'll probably cut out me looking over and reading the list. I can read my own writing. I started doing these how to be a handyman videos several months ago, and like I said in the other video, they didn't get views and they got bad feedback, but I'm going to start it up again mainly because of the growth. I've been getting more direct messages on Instagram, like amazing messages that a lot of times I just don't know how to respond or what to say. But people really thanking me for what I've done, and they always have a couple questions, and I try to answer them while typing on my phone. It just doesn't come across, it doesn't communicate that great when you're just trying to type in text. I've been getting some emails, even though my email really isn't like publicized, very many places. Only one spot you can find it. But oh jeez, Amber Alert. So many people get abducted in the big city, don't they? Anybody abduct you? I don't know. I put an Amber Alert out on you. I've realized the, I guess, influence that I have on people, and wanted to put a little bit more effort into that influence, and more value into the information that I'm giving out on video. So that's the reason that I want to do this. Take the time and do it. Now, skilled trades and manual labor. It's all manual labor. Is making a resurgence in popularity. A lot of it is led by Mike Rowe. Yeah, I watched his testimony in front of Congress last night, and the gist of it is we're going to have a shortage of people to keep this country running, keep it maintained and operating, because so many people are going to college, and there's a lot of people getting these BS degrees. And when you hear about people who go to college and waste all their money on their tuition and they can't get a job, it's most likely because they didn't do any research on that major, if they can even get a job with a 4-year degree in that field. There's a lot of 4-year degrees that you cannot go into that field with just a 4-year degree. It's a stepping stone to getting your graduate degree. So you need to have your graduate degree. And people give up after 4 years and say, no way I'm going back to school for 2 more years and paying out X amount of money to get the graduate degree. You can still go to college for 4 years, 4.5, 5 sometimes, and graduate and go straight to work. And that's exactly what I did. The main point of this video is to make you aware. You have to know what you're in for. The future. You may be young, you may be athletic and in shape, and your back and your joints don't hurt right now. Do 20 years of manual labor and get back to me. It is not an easy way to make a living. That's why most people don't choose to have a 30-year career doing manual labor. This is not easy. There are easier ways to have a nice career and retire and still be able-bodied, still be able to go travel the world. Currently, I'm on my exit strategy. So I got about 4 years left, and I'm already. And I'm not going to just like retire when I'm 45. I will be down to real light-duty handyman work. It won't make nearly as much money as I made 4 to 5 years ago. I was making ridiculous amounts of money. I would have been the poster child for Mike Rowe, saying, look how much money you can make doing manual labor. Well, it's taken its toll on me. Both shoulders have 10% tears in my bicep tendons, and I just got cortisone shots in each shoulder. Okay, this is not good. No. Come on. So yeah, I got cortisone shots in both shoulders. They said it's not a remedy, but it's a way to confirm the diagnosis. I did have an MRI on both shoulders, and anyways, I may have to do shoulder surgery in the future once these cortisone shots wear off. I'm lucky. Usually, if I was 41 years old and started when I was 18, 19 years old doing manual labor and had that whole 23 years, I'd be in much worse shape. That's something you got to know. I would have a very aggressive savings and investing strategy so that you're not in your 60s, grinding away, loading lumber into your truck every day and going to the dump. Or you could have your golden years, kind of like I did, right when I was in my early 30s, mid 30s. Gosh, I'm getting old. Mid 30s, where you just go like a maniac, you make a bunch of money, and then you gotta build that customer base. That was where I get all my customers from. Is I worked like an animal for years. I'd say maybe 3-4 years. That's all it took, and now kind of on cruise control. That built a reputation, and now I'm limiting the amount of strenuous, heavy-duty work that I'm doing. Even though I've got several scheduled for this year, I've already cut one right out because even though I can do it and I want to do it, I have to turn it down because I can't, keep putting my body through that stress. There's another thing that is a new movement that I've noticed is the glorification of manual labor on social media. There are so many Instagram accounts just glorifying manual labor. But what you don't see is what these guys look like at the end of the day. They are beat up, tired, covered in sweat, sawdust, drywall dust, paint, whatever they were working on that day, they are covered in it. They don't want to do anything in the evening, and on their weekends, they're usually parked on a couch, just recuperating. Now with the handyman business, there is a huge boom in the popularity of being a handyman. There's a lot of people trying to sell you a program that is promising you the world on this step by step. We're going to streamline. It's BS, and you have to ask what their credentials are. How many decades have you been in? Have you been self-employed? That's the big thing, is self-employed. The manual labor portion of it is maybe 10 to 15% of that success of being self-employed. So the source of this information is how long have you been self-employed, and how many years have you been testing this stuff you're trying to sell me? And usually the answer is like, well, the real answer is they found it somewhere else on the internet and are repackaging it and trying to sell it to you with a handyman stamp on it. This stuff is not hard to find. The information about being self-employed, what it takes to being self-employed, how to start a business as a self-employed person. It's not rocket science. You don't need to buy a program. You don't even need to do anything. You need to go to work. Some other businesses that would have the exact same business setup is like a wedding photographer. A wedding photographer business and a handyman business are almost the exact same. From the marketing to their customer relations, even to turning out a final product, the word of mouth advertising, it's almost identical. The only thing that's different is one person takes pictures and one person hangs pictures. That's it. When you're doing research on the best way to start your self-employed business, make sure you're researching that. Self-employment, not handyman. Because handyman, it's irrelevant. It's not important to the actual structure of how you're going to conduct your business. So self-employment is the key word that you need to be looking for. Now, I hope I didn't discourage anyone with this just bashing manual labor. The fact is, it's not easy. It's tough. And I'm getting more and more comments saying, hey, Handyman, you're glorifying this too much. You know, of course, this one guy today told me how he breaks his nails and his girlfriend paints on nail hardener. I was like, I don't know about that one. I mean, my fingernails are so thick and strong, I can like scrape paint with them and they never ever break. So maybe it's a vitamin deficiency or something. But there has been an upward trend as the channel grows from people who have been in the business saying, you might be glorifying this lifestyle a little too much, Handyman. You might want to give a reality check so people don't, waste their time trying, to make it work as a self-employed handyman. I'm going to cut this one short here. This is just kind of the introduction, and then I'll have main focus points. And I don't know how many episodes there will be because there's really just not that much information. There's some basic things you need to know, but there is no shortcut, there's no magic wand, there is no secret to success of being self-employed. There is one secret, but it's not something you can pay for, or it's not a material item. And I'll get into that. That'll be a topic of its own. I've got my few main topics, but if we continue this on past 4 or 5 videos, it's going to be responding to one of your questions. And it's going to make it on video. I won't call out your name, but I'm going to say, hey, this guy says I've got this problem, or my wife is yelling at me because I don't make enough money. We'll have a video about a question that I feel a lot of people could benefit from the answer. Leave your comments below. This is for you. My experience is 10 years full-time self-employed manual labor. I mean, a lot of the work I do crosses over into remodel, but a lot of it is handyman type work, putting down a storm door. Prior to that 10 years, I've got trying to do the math here. 5 to 7 years as a superintendent and project manager for residential construction, and I've got maybe a total of a year to a year and a half in commercial construction. Before that, I was in college getting a construction management degree. Before that, I was an electrician's apprentice, and before that, I was just a grunt laborer all the way down to the time that I was 15. That's my background. That's where my answers will be coming from, that life experience. Oh, please give this video a like and share it. I don't know. Anyone who's thinking about getting into this business. A lot of 18, 19-year-old kids sending me direct messages about getting into manual labor. So if you know one of them, maybe pass this along to them.